Have you ever wondered where commands like ls or chmod or even ping got their names? Well, each command has a unique origin story reaching all the way back to the early days of Unix. So let's uncover the history, the naming origins, and the quirks that shape these classic commands that we all use all the time. So let's start with the ls command, which lists directory contents. Now, ls simply stands for list. It's a shortened version of list, ls. And back in the 70s, Unix pioneers Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie wanted command names to be short to save on typing time and, of course, memory, so it was limited back then. And this minimalist naming style of Unix commands really became a defining feature. Now, of course, ls in the beginning only displayed file names, but it later expanded to show details like permissions and ownership with flags like L for long format. But by keeping commands short, ls was one of those ways to make Unix more efficient and user-friendly early on when we had limited hardware. Now let's talk about the cat command, which is for concatenating files. Now cat obviously stands for concatenate, again a shortened command name, and this was originally used to join multiple files and display them together. The name hints at its primary function, which is to combine and display text. Now cat is one of Unix's foundational commands, allowing users to read file contents directly in the terminal. And over time, many of us started using it to view single files as well. Now cat may be technically intended for combining files, but all of us like to use cat when we need to quickly view the output of a file in the terminal. Next up, we have the touch command, which is for creating empty files. Now, touch was actually initially created to update the modification timestamp on a file without changing its contents. The name reflects its purpose, is to touch a file and therefore update its properties. But the evolution of touch is a perfect example of how Unix adaptability continues to be a thing. While it was originally for timestamp updates, it's now commonly used to create empty files, especially in scripts. I know I use touch all the time. It's one of my most used commands, I think. And this makes it one of the most versatile commands in the Unix toolkit. Next up, we have grep. Everybody knows grep. Everybody loves grep when you're using Linux in the command line. This is for global regular expression print. Now, it's named after an old command from the ED text editor with G/RE/P, obviously grep, and this stood for global regular expression print. And this was used to search for patterns in files. Now, Ken Thompson created grep to search through text using regular expressions. It quickly became one of the most popular commands for text processing, as Unix was built on plain text files and logs. So grep helped users filter data, and it became so popular that to grep is now synonymous with searching through text. It's one of those things that we all know. We're all familiar with grep. I love grep. Now let's talk about SED or sed, which is the stream editor. Now, obviously, sed stands for stream editor, another version of a shortened command, a bit like ls and a bit like cat. And it was designed to edit text data in streams or pipelines rather than static files. Created by Lee McMahon in the mid-70s, and it was groundbreaking, so it allowed real-time text editing within a pipeline. And with the old /new syntax, it revolutionized search and replace, making sed a go-to for file manipulation and also for automation. Now let's talk about the awk command, or AWK, but I like to call it awk, and it's for pattern scanning and processing language. Now, it's actually named after its creators. This is a fun fact. Alfred Aho, Peter Weinberger, and Brian Kernighan created this, and their surnames, AWK initials, were used to create the command. Did anybody else know that? I think it's really fun. And the command represents one of the first examples of combining data processing with text manipulation. It was introduced in the late 70s, and awk is a powerful addition to Unix at that time, combining scripting and text processing in one tool. And it inspired languages like Perl, and also remains a staple for data manipulation, especially for structured data like logs or CSVs, which are still everywhere. So awk, next time you think about awk, you'll think about the three people who created it, Aho, Weinberger, and Kernighan, maybe. Maybe you won't, but it's still a nice little fun fact. Now let's talk about the chmod command, which is really short for change mode or change permissions. And this refers to file permission modes. The command lets users like you and myself set permissions to control who can read, write, or execute a file. And Unix permissions also use octal numbers to set different levels for the owner, the group, and others. For example, chmod 755 gives full access to the owner and read and execute permissions to everybody else. And this octal system, where you have read as 4, 2 for write and 1 for execute rather. So you've got RWX, you've got 4, 2, and 1. Obviously, if you sum them all together, you get 7, which allows someone to have all permissions. This is quite unique to Unix and shows how it was built for multi-user environments. And when you're getting into Linux for the first time, getting to grip with this octal idea might seem a bit confusing, but it's actually a really efficient and succinct way of setting permissions on files. Now let's talk about the kill command, which is simply there to terminate processes. It's really as direct as it sounds. It was named to convey the function of terminating or killing running processes. It's a reminder of the simple and straightforward naming in Unix. Now, the kill command is key for managing processes, and it allows you to send signals to processes to terminate them. Obviously, if you use the 9 signal, that is sig kill, and that forcefully ends the process. Or say the 15 signal is sig term, which requests a graceful shutdown. And the command's direct name really reflects the philosophy of giving users full control over their system. Now let's talk about the DD command. Now, this is technically data definition, but we also call it disk destroyer. Now, obviously, while it does stand for data definition, the syntax is what's really interesting here. It's got the IF and OF, and this is for input and output files. And it was actually inspired by IBM's JCL, or job control language, and that's a nod to early computing practices. But also known as the disk destroyer due to its ability to overwrite entire disks, DD is powerful, but clearly quite risky if misused. Syntax may seem strange compared to other Unix commands, but this reflects Unix's integration of older computing conventions with new flexibility. And then we have the ping command to check network connectivity. We've all used ping at some point, I'm sure of that. And it was named after sonar technology, where a ping signal is sent out to detect objects. When it comes to computing, we send echo requests and listen for replies. A ping is a request for a reply. And it's very similar to sonar, of course, in that regard. Now, created by Mike Moose in 1983, ping was revolutionary. It allowed users to check network connectivity. And its simplicity and utility have made it universal across all OSs now. Ping isn't just on Unix, of course. It's on Macs, on Windows, it's everywhere. And it's now one of the most well-known network testing tools. So there you go. Next time you use ping, maybe you'll think about Mike Moose and his revolutionary invention back from the 80s. And also how it's linked to pinging sonar underwater. And there you go, that's it. That's a look back at the history and the origin of Linux's most iconic command. From the early days of Unix, the systems we use today, these commands have really evolved to keep their usefulness, but also their original characters. The next time you use ls or chmod or ping, you're not just running a command, you're actually connecting with decades of computing history that you don't necessarily think about when you're just typing it in at the terminal. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little tour down memory lane. Thanks for watching this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.